Christmas!
What's up, everybody? It's your boys, Rick and Verb, coming at you with the Daily Press Time podcast to talk about the Ho Ho Halloween Christmas toy drive. We're getting toys for the kids. We're having a good time, and we're also talking about all of our favorite scary movies all throughout the month to pump this event. I hope you guys can deliver a toy. Verb, you got anything to add to that?
Sounds great. What you're doing is awesome. So we're going to be having fun all month. Today we're talking Scream, which is unbelievable.
Scream, baby.
Why don't we give the audience here a little background on me and you? So we've been friends for a long time.
Very long time.
2, I'd say. Maybe 3. 2, I wasn't so sure about you, but I knew you.
That's true. I was rejected for the first year, but that's fine. I made it in.
I like to play hard to get. But I think if we're talking horror movies, you definitely got me started for sure. 2 reasons. One, you lived right by Media 2000, which was a video store that had no problem giving rated R movies to 10-year-old kids.
That's right.
Which is awesome. And also your parents, I don't think they seem to care too much what we watch, which was also awesome.
No, I don't think that they really cared either. And I don't know. I think we're all right.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, Scream was one of those movies that we rented at Media 2000. I remember the day, me and you, my older bro.
Yeah, it came out in, I think, 96. So we were like about 12. And it was awesome. I remember being pretty scared, even though I think we were probably watching it during the day. I was still frightened.
Dude, I was big time frightened. Right as soon as the movie ended, the phone rang and everyone's like, ah!
Yeah, it's another movie actually, but similar, which we'll talk about later. In The Ring, the same thing happens. The phone always rings as soon as you watch that video.
Obviously, we'll get into that when we talk The Ring, but that one just blew my hair back. I was I was petrified in the movie theater. I got like goosebumps all over my body 15 times. And to be honest, man, it still kind of scares me a bit.
Now that we all have cell phones, you would just get that scary call and just hit deny.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even answer it.
100% block that caller.
So Scream, yeah. So we said 1996. We said
we'll go.
We got Neve Campbell is in like the height of her career. Yep. Courtney Cox, Arquette, who was awesome as Officer Dewey.
The big man, Wes Craven, that in my opinion is one of his best. That and probably Nightmare on Elm Street are his top 2, but like Scream is really, really, really cool.
It's awesome. It's almost like his kind of like tribute or love story to all the other horror movies of the past.
Oh yeah, and he's touching on all of his buddies. He'll talk on different horror movies that his friends like Carpenter have done, or like Tobe Hooper or something like that, which is super cool.
Yeah, and he even has a nice cameo in there. Dressed as Freddy Krueger. They go into the hallway and he's mopping the floors. Freddy the janitor.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. He's wearing like the iconic striped shirt.
Big time, dude. I always kind of forget about that. But to anybody who hasn't seen it, here's a quick little once-over of Scream. Set in the 90s, of course, all high school. A murder happens 1 year prior to the movie beginning. It's a grisly murder of Sidney Prescott's mom, who is played by Neve Campbell. And then exactly 1 year later, murders start happening again, except it's all of her friends in high school. And they're dropping like flies, baby.
Yeah, this killer's really concentrating straight on the high school students. Like these twerps. He wants them done. And do you remember the first scene was a big moment because it was Drew Barrymore. It was cool. You're expecting her to be in the whole movie, but she spoiler, she's gone. She's toast right at the beginning.
Right. And I think that Scream was one of those movies where that's the first time they do. Maybe it's probably not the first time, but it's the first time it came to my attention that they would actually do stuff like that. Like Drew is the biggest star in the whole movie. She is front and center on the poster. You just expect that it stars Drew Barrymore, and then she's done in like...
For sure. And I think it'd be one of the first movies to really do that. It's pretty common now. You're seeing a lot of like main characters get taken out and you're not as surprised. You're bummed, but you're not as surprised. Samuel L. Jackson, Deep Blue Sea, he's getting taken out by a shark. You didn't see that coming.
I really didn't see that coming, dude. But yeah, dude, like it's really, really cool movie. There's tons of great moments, tons of great kills. What was your favorite kill?
Tatum, the garage door opener. So like you go in there. She's just getting some beers, I think. And then the Ghostface killer comes out. She's trying to escape. She goes through the doggy door or the cat door and just goes raised.
Yeah, dude, I know.
Dude, I actually have a pretty funny story about the garage door opener. When I was little and we moved from out of Oakville, at the time we had a garage door opener and there was two, right? You keep one in each car, and when you pull up, you could pull it. So the people who bought our house, for some reason, we only gave them one. So we still had the other one. And so there was a day where we went to visit my old neighbors, and me and my brother were sitting in the car all ducked down, and we kept opening and closing their garage door. And the lady was going nuts, and like she was running around, not knowing what's going on, thinking that her house was possessed. And then we would stop for a second, and as soon as she thought it was over, we would just hit it again, and she would go nuts again. We were just giggling the whole time.
Oh, dude, I love that harmless mayhem.
And to this day, I would like to think she tells that story about her garage being haunted.
Dude, and only for one day.
Yeah. Oops, wrong house.
Yeah, the ghost decided to move along.
But yeah, no, that was a great killer, or a great death for the garage door. Let's talk about the killer himself. You never really know who he is. He's got that classic now, like white ghost face mask.
Now it's iconic as hell.
At the time, I'm trying to remember if I thought it was scary. It's not so scary anymore. I think we've seen it so many times.
Not particularly, but I mean, I think it's his behavior that you never know what's going on. Who is it? Who's it going to be? All that stuff like kind of does get to you.
The whole point of the movie, it's almost like a horror, like mystery. They want to lead you in different directions, and they want you to think it's someone when it's not. But
yeah, it's a little fright fest over there. And and the way that it turns out is obviously awesome. We're going to spoil the whole bloody thing.
That's all right. So the killers end up being Billy and Billy's buddy Stu, I think, right? Is his name?
Stu.
Played by Matthew Lillard, who is the kind of the comic relief of the whole thing. There's a part that made me laugh where he's basically almost dying, and Sydney says she calls the police, and he's just like, my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me.
Dude, that right there is prime example of how he's just Billy's sidekick. Because like Billy's in it to win it. Stu's just kind of like there having a good time.
Yeah, Billy actually has a motive. So his motive was that Sidney Prescott's mom had an affair with his dad.
Yeah.
And broke up his parents' marriage, and so he didn't have a mom around. So he's bitter. He's ready to attack.
He is a bitter little boy. Like, come on, Skeet, get a grip, buddy.
Now, Rick, you're one of my best friends, so if you ever came to me and needed some sort of alibi, I would probably provide it for you.
Appreciate that.
But I think so. But I don't know if I'm your sidekick enough just to follow you around for senseless murder.
Quite frankly, it's hard to find the time.
You're right. If I didn't have plans, maybe.
I know, being a couple busy guys, like I wouldn't ask you to do that. You live in Hamilton, man.
Appreciate it.
But if you were back here in Welland, I'm just right.
So who else? There was they always wanted to steer you in different ways. They the one that I didn't believe for a second. Henry Winkler plays the principal, so that's pretty cool to see a '90s version of the Fonz there. And he was like, there's a point where he's mad at all the students. He's waving around the knife, saying, "You guys don't appreciate anything." And I didn't think it was him for a second. I kind of told him to beat it on that one.
No, I know. But it is cool how they like subvert your attention to different people all the time. For example, the guy who's ahead of Dewey, of course, the captain or whatever that dude's name is. It shows him right before the scene where Sydney is in the ladies' bathroom. It shows the boots come down because he's hiding on the toilet. And in the scene just prior to that, it shows the sergeant stepping on a cigarette butt with the exact same boots. And you're like, oh, man.
I know it. And you always think you're smarter than everybody else. You're telling everybody in the room, oh, it's this guy. It's that guy.
For sure.
They wanted you to think it was Sidney Prescott's dad, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was Dewey when I seen the trailer the first time.
Yeah. A big moment in it is when Randy, who we haven't really talked about, but he's kind of the big film nerd working at the video store, and he kind of acts as the narrator a little bit. He kind of helps the story move along at certain parts. But when he's explaining the 3 rules to survive a horror movie, no sex. So if you're not a virgin, you don't stand a chance. No drinking, no doing drugs. And then that one line that I think everybody said for a while after is like, I'll be right back.
Yeah, like all of that setup like continues on through the whole franchise. They're always referring back to like old movie tropes that just happen and how like you can like get around them and all these cool things. So I think that's like a huge, huge part of the plot, and then becomes a big, big part of the franchise too.
Right. I remember one time he's talking about Jamie Lee Curtis, and he calls her the original Scream Queen. There's a show now called Scream Queens, is there not? So is Scream kind of the creator of that line? Did he come up with that?
I don't know if he came up with that, but like she pretty much is the orig, I would say, from Halloween.
Oh, 100%. And she's badass. She's even badass in the new, in some of the new ones.
Yeah.
Very military and sets up her whole house with booby
Yeah,
traps.
she's more badass than ever before.
Halloween meets Home Alone. She's setting up little micro machines on the ground. And
Yeah.
Mike Myers is getting hit with paint cans.
I did see him, but I can't remember it. But I remember she had some like booby traps and stuff, no?
For sure.
Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else to add on this wonderful classic film?
Yeah, no, I just think it's a perfect example of like that genre of like that 90s horror. It led to some other great ones, which hopefully we'll talk about. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a great one. I feel like they're very, very similar in style.
Yeah, they are. They're like those like geared at teens kind of horror movies that are fun to watch at a party or something. Like that's one of the things that I really appreciate that era of horror 80s into the 90s is that I feel like most of the filmmakers remembered that it's also supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
Where, like that gets a little bit lost, I think, as time goes on into the 2000s. I do think a bunch of directors recently have realized that it's also supposed to be fun, some of which we'll probably cover over the next month. Yeah, man, I love that. It's fun. It's exciting. There's mystery. There's humor. There's like, I don't know, scares. There's kind of everything that you'd want in it.
I think this is our first one, so it's only it's only going to get better from here. We hope.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. We're going to talk about a lot of movies, and it's just going to be cool to hang out this month.
Hell yeah, buddy. I can't wait. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in, checking this out. We're really doing this for the kids. So if you got it in you got a little toy that you want to drop off, bring it to press time between October 20th, October 26th. We'll take that toy. We're going to hang on to it until Christmas. Then we're going to donate the whole shabam. Then when you come to press time, you'll be able to get a little hot dog. That's if you come on the 26th. You'll see the premiere of the movie we've been working on, Pimento. It's the whole press time team working on the movie. We're currently still working on said movie, but it's going to be sick. You get a press time tee. It's going to be fun. Come on down.
That's awesome. I'll be there for sure. And hopefully you guys are all there too.
See you tomorrow.